For Australia to maintain the best health standard in the world, most of their visa applicants will have to meet minimum health standards before they can grant them visa. So in today's episode, I'll be showing you how you can attain this minimum standard. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we go on, please know that I'm not a migration agent. I'll mostly be reading back to you what's on the Home Affairs website, and I'll be sharing with you my experiences and that of my friends. To attain the minimum standard required by Australia, a lot of the applicants have to pass a health examination. I'm saying a lot of applicants because not everyone has to go through the health examination process. But I'll get through who and who should not go through it in this video, so stay tuned. Now, who needs to go through the health examination process? There are two categories of people that will go through this process. The first one is the permanent and provisional visa applicants. The second category are the temporary visa applicants. For permanent visa applicants, you cannot escape this check. You must do it. To add to it, there are some circumstances where your family members, where you are coming from, will also have to go through this health examination even if they don't plan coming to Australia. However, there could be variation to the type of test that could be taken, and this is dependent on your age. Not all temporary visa applicants have to go through the health examination process, and I'm sure you know why. Whether or not you go through the health examination process and the kind of examination you undergo will depend on the following. 1. The visa you're applying for. 2 is how long you plan to stay in Australia. 3 is what you plan to do in Australia. Number 4 is the level of the level of tuberculosis risk your the level of tuberculosis risk Australia thinks your country poses. The list is as posted on the website, and there you can check what level your countries are. The website only posts the low risk ones, so if you are not in the low risk, you'll definitely be in the high risk. So if you can't find your country, then you're high risk. Number 5 is any special circumstances that might apply to you. Australia could, in their discretion, just make this decision depending on what you want to do in the country. Number 6 will be whether you have any significant health condition. To top all this, you might not need to have the health examination again if you've done it in the last 12 months. Now let's quickly go through the kind of health examinations you need. For permanent and provisional visa applicants, the examinations to take are kind of very straightforward, and you can find them on the website. It is just as below. We have the medical examination, the chest x-ray, the HIV test, and all these tests are actually all dependent on the age. When you're under 2, you are 2 or more, but under 11, and the different age ranges. For temporary visa applicants, it is kind of not as straightforward, but you can find the details on the website. You will notice on the website that if you are from a country that is considered as low risk to tuberculosis according to the Australian government, no health examinations will be needed unless special circumstances apply. And no health examination will even be needed if you are staying for more than 6 months. If you are from a country that the Australian government considers as high risk to tuberculosis, need for examination will depend on how long you intend to stay temporarily in the country. If you apply to stay for less than 6 months, no health examinations is needed unless special circumstances apply. Now this sounds interesting a little bit. If you apply to stay for 6 months or more, the following health examinations will be required of you: medical examination, chest x-ray, and serum creatinine. The medical examination will just involve the doctor checking your body and everything, that just touching your body just to make sure you're okay physically. The chest x-ray, you know what x-ray, I think. Then the serum, this test could be gotten from your blood these days, so no extra test required for that. If you have been in Australia in the last 28 days, the Australian government might include any time you have already spent in Australia when they work out your length of stay for health requirement purposes. That means if you are from a high TB rich country and you've already been in Australia for 24 months, then you try applying for a 3-month visa without leaving the country for more than 28 days. And this might be because you want to extend your student visa or whatever kind of temporary visa you're on, and maybe the time has elapsed and you just need an extra time. If this is the case, the Australian government's calculation will make your length of stay 27 months, and this is just for health requirement purposes. And you know, when you're staying more than 6 months, you require a health examination, and that's where it gets you. You then have to do another health examination. But if you've stayed 3 months initially and you want a 2 extra months, and you're from a high risk TB country, then that will be 5 months in total. Then you might not need a health examination for that. In some situations, it might be required to carry out more tests than what I've talked about today. and this will be dependent on the kind of environment you want to be in, your pregnancy status, where you intend to work, and your age. And I have something you need to know that I know has affected a lot of people. A lot of people get scared when they get asked by the health personnel whether they intend to apply for a permanent visa within the next 6 months or 12 months. Just so you know, that is no trick question. It has nothing to do with you getting your visa or your application process. If your response to that question is yes, the clinic will only suggest you get assessed as a permanent visa applicant. But know this, if you accept, you'll be asked to pay extra cost for the extra examination, because permanent visa applicants have extra examinations as compared to the temporary visa applicants. The good thing about this is that it will save you some money on the long run. And this is because if you decide to apply for a permanent or provisional visa within the space of 6 or 12 months, you will still have to go through the health examination. I mean the extra health examinations that you refused to go to initially, and this time you'll be paying more. Now let's talk about how to arrange for this health examination if you have been required to. The Australian Government Department of Home Affairs will send those required to carry out the health examination a request for health examination letter. This document will contain a health assessment program identification number, which is the HAP ID. This number is one of the most important details in the 4-page letter. The letter will state that you are to respond to the request within 28 days after you are taken to have received it. However, if you are unable to undergo the health examination within the time frame, you should notify the department by attaching details through the ImmiAccount. This letter will also include the health examination list required of you. If you live outside Australia, qualified panel physicians or clinics nominated by the Australian Government Department of Home Affairs will have to attend to you. You can find the list of those nominated physician clinics by selecting this link. You will then select the country, then select panel physician. These physicians or clinics would have to process your health examinations using secure online system called eMedical through your HAP ID. For people in Australia, Bupa Medical Visa Services arranges all the health examinations. To book, you should visit this website, select book appointment, then select Australian Visa Medical Assessment. You can then continue to book. Select new individual booking or whichever one applies to you. Put in your postcode and your state, then select search. And you'll see different assessment centers that would come up in their first available dates. You can select any of the locations. Something you should note is that some of those locations do not have their radiology on site. This implies that when it's time to do your x-ray, you'll have to be referred to a nearby radiology center. Don't be scared, don't be scared. It's actually going to be an easy process. However, this is actually just best for those that are mobile, because moving from one place to another, you need mobility for that. So I would advise that if you won't be mobile during your health examination, you should rather book for locations with on-site radiology. After selecting the location, you can then select the medical assessment required of you. You should only select the ones that appear on your referral letter, then select next. You should then select the dates and time available. If the available dates there don't suit you, you can do well to check for other locations. After, you'll be required to fill in your information, and they're just very simple details. Then you can confirm your details afterward. The amount of money you're expected to pay on arrival will be shown at the bottom of the website. Well, after all the online, all you have to do is to appear at your various centers at the selected time and day. Make room for about 3 hours when you are going for your examinations. These 3 hours will include time spent looking for the particular clinic when you get to your location, looking for where to stay, the entrance and all, parking, things like that. And also your time spent at the receptionist doing your registration, the waiting times, the time spent with the doctor, the time spent doing your x-ray, travel time for people that are going to another location for their x-ray. Special note to people that have to go to another location for their x-ray, just know that you don't have to do any special payment or anything. It will just be a very seamless transfer. When you get to your clinic, they'll give you like a referral, or they'll give you like a band just to put in your hand. Then when you get to the radiologist, you just do what you have to do. No filling of any form, nothing. So it's going to be a seamless process. Trust me. I believe I've been able to tell you everything you need to know about the Australian visa health requirements and how to apply for health examination. But if you have further questions, you can just reach out to me by sending an email or reaching out to me on Instagram. I'll be happy to help you. Also, don't forget to like, just leave a comment, also share to people that might need the video, and also subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next time.